are the fastest way to get ROI in Shindo Life. Starting off with the simple ones, it's going to be green scroll missions. Now the good thing about green scroll missions is that they're pretty much applicable to anything you do. So that means that if you're leveling up, you can do green scroll missions and you can get ROI. So that's kind of what the best thing about this is. So if you want to do green scroll missions, I kind of recommend this, especially if you're, kind of an early player and you're kind of new to Shindo Life. I would recommend doing green scroll missions before you try anything else with ROI, because that's kind of the best way to get ROI, especially if you're a beginner in Shindo Life. So just keep that in mind. But for the second method I want to talk about, this is going to be quests. Now the good thing about quests is that if you're more of an advanced player, so let's say if you're like level 1000, you've maxed out every bloodline, stuff like that, and you've done a lot of quests, basically if you have reached level 1000, you could automatically get a free 13,000 ROI. Although it's not a major amount of ROI, it's still something that you can add on to what you're already getting. So you can get that. You can also do main missions where if you've mastered an element or a bloodline, you can get additional 100k to 200k ROI just from claiming those, which is really good. So one could be master element lightning style, one could be master bloodline Rengoku, and of course it's random, so it could be any element, it could be any bloodline, things like Code Gaiden. So as long as you have every bloodline maxed out, it could even be the RYO bloodline, which is very unlikely, but it's a possibility. But if you do have every bloodline maxed out, this is going to be really good, especially if you have every element maxed out too. This can be very helpful in getting some ROI. So that's just a few secret ways. This is kind of a secret method that a lot of people don't know about, but let's talk about the most laziest way to get ROI right now, and that's going to be the AFK room. So if you go to apartments, which is just the Shindo Life version of the AFK room, simpler stuff like All-Star Tower Defense that did like the AFK room, you probably are familiar with this. So if you go in there, you just pretty much just stand there or just lay there, and you pretty much get ROI, and I'll show a clip on that, how to do that, but it's pretty much as easy as that. The good thing about this is that if you have the Game Pass, you can pretty much get 2 times rewards. So I think it's the Bloodline Game Pass, so if you have this, you can get 2 times rewards, which is pretty kind of overpowered, especially even though it is Robux. If you do have it, I would recommend getting it because it helps so much. You can get with this Game Pass about probably about 1 million to 600, probably about 1 million to 1,600,000 ROI every night. Especially if you AFK this throughout the night, or if you AFK for a few hours, this can definitely stack up, especially since it's pretty much free ROI and it's pretty much really easy to get. So I would definitely recommend this method. This is a method I personally use to get a ton of ROI in Shindo Life because it's just so easy and it's so convenient that it kind of trumps every other method. But like I said, the green scroll missions are good, especially if you're leveling up as well. If you're ranking up, I would recommend ranking up as well, because if you're doing the green scroll missions, you might as well rank up too and get that ROI as well. So there's that. Those are the 2 powerful methods. The third method is going to be the toads. Now the toads give a pretty good amount of ROI, but you do need some powerful bloodlines to be able to defeat them efficiently. I'll recommend some like Shadow, Apollo, Sand. So as long as you have those bloodlines, you pretty much can easily get these toads done with, and of course it levels up your bloodline really fast, and that's what most people use it for. It doesn't give an insane amount of ROI, but it's something to definitely take a look at. So definitely keep in mind, I think it gives like 50 to 100k, so it's definitely one of the best methods. But like I said, if you're just beginning out, green scroll missions might be your best way to go, and then just AFK room after that point, because of course you get spins which you can get like more powerful bloodlines. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So there's a couple of other methods, stuff like the blue missions, which is just the blue scroll missions. These are kind of like beginner friendly, so if you're just beginning out, they're a good way to get some stuff, especially if you're just beginning out, But like I said, if you're just beginning, I would just do green scroll missions at that point. But like I said, some other methods are going to be some game modes I would recommend. Dungeons are a really good one, although it doesn't give a ton amount of ROI, especially one that is really good because you get game passes as well. So if you're looking for a game mode that kind of has other stuff than just ROI, this might be an excellent way to get some other stuff. And some stuff I would recommend is huge AoE abilities, but of course you need to be pretty high level to be able to do this method, so do keep that in mind. Dungeons is kind of a level 1000 pretty high rank sort of thing, so you're not going to be able to be like level 300 and do this, so just keep that in mind. But it's still a phenomenal way of getting ROI and stuff like that. Some other game modes is going to be competitive, and open world. There's plenty. Open world's actually kind of good because you do get a little bit of ROI, not too much, but like I said, swerve through the kind of surf through the game modes and kind of find ones that you kind of like, because most of them give ROI, pretty much all of them give ROI. So if you can find one that you like, that's kind of a win. Conqueror gives some, Arena gives some, and of course that kind of goes back to these quests as well. You get a couple 100k as long as you're enjoying them and having fun playing some of these game modes. That's just kind of an additional bonus that I would recommend. So 2 Conqueror wins, you get 100k, 1 million damage in Arena, you get 100k, and of course 5 wins in tournament, which is very hard to do, but you can get that. And story missions give you 50k, so story missions are also a good way as well. And war mode gives you 400k. So these are all from the quest, so you can definitely get some good stuff if you like the game modes or you play a lot of the game modes. But anyways, these are the best ways to get ROI and Shindo Life. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like and drop a sub, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.